Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have an almost unbelievable story and video to share with you. A woman with a history of cancer reached out to her lawmaker, reached out to her senator for reassurance. And she is the perfect example of how our country is failing its citizens and how our elected officials work for their wealthy insurance company donors rather than we the people, and how cold and callous they are about it. So Bev Veals is the woman I'm referring to. She's a North Carolina resident. She has battled cancer 3 times over the past 20 years. And after her husband was furloughed in March, she became concerned, of course, about losing her health insurance. So she reached out to her senator, who is Thom Tillis. She reached out to his office for guidance and advice and to share her concerns, see if they had any ideas for her, to encourage them to support the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, and to not tear it down as Tillis and the Republicans have been trying to do. I mean, look, I'm not a fan of the ACA overall, but it's better than nothing. It's better than it used to be. At least we have coverage for people with pre-existing conditions, which I used to always struggle with. So she reached out. The response she received was so cruel and so callous. It, as I said in the beginning, it's almost unbelievable. Take a look and listen.
Over the past 20 years, Bev Veals beat cancer 3 times, a journey that included struggles to get care and medical bankruptcy. So when her husband was furloughed in March due to COVID, Veals worried about losing her health insurance.
I wanted answers because the thought of having no health care right now and possibly getting sick with COVID is extremely frightening.
She started calling her lawmakers for guidance and came across a Washington, D.C. staffer for Senator Thom Tillis. Frustrated by the lack of empathy, Veals started recording.
You're saying that if you can't afford it, you don't get to have it, and that includes health care.
Yeah, just like if I want to go to the store and buy a new dress shirt, if I can't afford that dress shirt, I don't get to get it.
But health care is something that people need, especially if they have cancer.
Well, you got to find a way to get it.
To compare it to a dress shirt made me incredibly angry and hurt.
So what do I do in the meantime, sir?
Sounds like something you're going to have to figure out.
So there you go. She recorded this conversation with one of Tillis's staff members, and he actually has the audacity, the callous audacity to compare a desire, a want, something as meaningless, something as unimportant, a material item like a dress shirt, to the need for health care in the middle of a pandemic, and for someone who has had cancer, a life-threatening disease. This guy, I wouldn't trust him to be an exterminator of bugs. I mean, this guy is gross. He clearly lacks any and all normal human emotions, such as empathy. How would this inhuman monster feel if someone he loved, his mother, his wife, anybody, his father, had a life-threatening disease and they lost their health insurance? What an entitled ass. She was far nicer than I would have been. She's still as horrible, as horrific as his answers were, she was still respectful and treated him with dignity. He would have had a foot up his ass if I was on the other end of that line. This guy is a disgrace. Now, you would expect, right? Normal people like you and I would expect Thom Tillis's office to be appalled by this. You would expect a sitting senator who, by the way, is up for election in just 2 months, and also is considered to be one of the most vulnerable members of the Senate. He's not doing so great in his race. You would expect someone like that to take swift action, right? You would expect someone like that whose job, whose future, whose career is on the line, to fire this incompetent, gross excuse for a human being who lacks basic decency and compassion, right? Well, you would be wrong. Tillis's office says that they reprimanded him. Really? Reprimanded? Oh my God. It's just so gross. It's so unbelievably gross. So apparently, Tillis has no problem with sociopathic employees, since this guy is still on his payroll, right? He got a good finger wagging, but that's it. Well, the good news, though, is that Tillis's challenger outraised him by almost 3-1, according to news reports from July. So Cal Cunningham is the Democrat running against Tillis, and he raised $7.4 million in the second quarter of this year, compared to Tillis's $2.6 million. So if I were Cunningham, I would take out ad spots and I would just continually play that video of Tillis's staff member. It would just be on a loop everywhere. And anyone who's knocking on doors for me, they would have it saved on their phone and they would be ordered to play it for every person they talk to in North Carolina. If that is a representative of his office and his stance on healthcare, oh my God. No wonder our country is as screwed up as it is. When all you care about is your big money insurance donors, yeah, you're going to be against Medicare for all. You're going to be against anything that takes money out of their pockets. Anyway, guys, just had to share that with you because it just blew me away. I couldn't believe that someone could be that callous. It was almost like a Saturday Night Live skit. It was mind-blowing. As always, like, share, subscribe, and hopefully we'll be done with this nightmare very soon. Take care. Thanks for listening to Plants and Politics. The only way we can take our country and power back is to spread the truth and build an army. So remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again.